Lost Myself. Written by Okami1. Read by Arashi. Byleth scans the scenes around them, holds the sword of the creator firmly in their hands. They look at the world through narrow, unimpressed eyes. Everything that's happened here has happened before. People are screaming. Blood stains the wall. At least the ones that are still standing. Most are crumbled, filled with holes collapsing as they wait. Fresh ash coats the ground. Still burning flames rage around. Garrick Muck Monastery is in shambles. It's something they already know. Doesn't need to see. It's the only thing she's looking for in particular. They focus, ignoring the voices of their students, of the one in their mind that they don't want to think about. Someone is shouting Byleth's name. "Why are you doing this?" they yell. What they don't know is they've explained themselves so many times they have their phrases memorized. They don't matter, nor does the anguish of their former students and fellow faculty. No one listened to them, and thus, it is time wasted. Just as this time is wasted too. They can see Sedith fighting some Agarthians. They don't have to worry about him. He'll stay alive. For Flayn. He'll protect them both, but that means he has to stay near her to do so. There's nowhere to run. Not for any of them. Not now. Somehow in the madness of weapons, magic, and staff users, of various nations fighting each other, Byleth sees what she's looking for. Of course they do. They know where to look. Their memories are ingrained in their mind, just as the happy ones before all of this are. They ignore someone, Leonie perhaps. She's in a different place than usual. Her passion and drive makes her unpredictable. Byleth used to find that commendable. Now, they're tired. That doesn't matter either. How exhausted or bloodied or hated they are. Unfortunately for Leonie, anyway, Byleth isn't going to die here. Byleth moves to the side, twisting out of reach of Leonie's lance. Her angry stare is a clash for Byleth's blank one. Should they look more twisted, as their actions are? Would that seal the deal? It doesn't matter if it was an act at some point. This is the only course of action they can take. Byleth doesn't think about it for more than half a second. But Leonie is moving slowly. Perhaps she tried to fight Kranya beforehand? No, likely not. Byleth stabbed her in the ribs, so she should be down for a little while at least. Technically, they are teammates with Kranya, but now she's unpredictable too. Byleth doesn't like her, and thoughts to kill Kranya passes by their mind, along with the idea to go back in time and try more peacefully. But if this is to work, Byleth needs allies, no matter how horrible they are, even if they're likely to kill them, or hope that their former allies kill them in the end. Still, they can hear Leonie yelling about Geralt. He has to be around here somewhere. That isn't a fight they really want, after all the trouble they've gone to make sure he survives this time. It doesn't matter how bad things get between them. No, bad isn't even a word close enough to describe things. There was that look he'd given her when they'd started attacking the knights during one attempt. Heartbreaking. Or at least it would be if they had a heart. Now they try and stay away from him because it's his best chance of surviving. Enough deliberating. Enough thinking. Byleth slashes Leonie in the leg, hard enough that they think they hear a bone crack. Fuck. Next time, they'll have to be more gentle. No, there won't be a next time. This is the last attempt. Byleth will make sure of that no matter what it costs them. From prior attempts, they know it's everything and more. They don't spare a glance back at Leonie or her words or pain. Something about Geralt, no doubt. Betrayal. Ashen Demon. Yes, Byleth knows that well enough. There's a flash of white hair and black not far from it. Black magic pools all around. Hubert knows the situation is dire. That something is wrong, even by those who slither in the dark standards. He hides his fear and fatigue well, but she can see it. How many times has he cast dark spikes? He hasn't learned the more advanced spells. And Edelgard, she's activating the Crest of Flames. A kingdom soldier falls to the ground. More blood, more bodies on the ground. He does not get back up. That's fine. Long ago, a wave of guilt would have passed over Byleth. They're fine letting some die. It is only the people they spare whose memories reside deep in their heart, that heart which must be as cold and harsh as stone. A more pragmatic thought emerges. These soldiers, nuns, merchants, any of those casualties will not change the course of history anyway. They are likely to die in whatever war anyhow. In Rhea's rampaging, Dallas's killing, Dimitri's attacks or Edelgard's plans or Claude's schemes. Dimitri rushes to attack Edelgard so quickly that he leaves a print on the cracked stone floor. Oh, they're the cathedral. How fitting. How many times they protected this place with Rhea, attempted to capture it with Edelgard, schemed with Claude, and tried to snap Dimitri out of his tortured thoughts. But now, there's no going back. Edelgard turns to meet him in a flash, strong and not easily caught off guard. Rhea is behind her, bloodied. Her hands and mouth both are. The hint of fangs and claws is there. She's trying to hold off on not using her powers, which suits Byleth just fine. Seth can never reach Rhea in time, but Dimitri can. If it's one thing Byleth supposes they can be thankful to religion for, it's that even stronger than his rage at Edelgard or the assaults on the monastery is his will to protect Rhea, uphold some sense of Fargus's loyalty or whatever nonsense. For now, at least. It's also a problem, because he values his own life less than Rhea's. Revenge will keep him going. Dedu is unfortunately not far behind. He'll speak reason into him, temporarily, which is fine, but not before Byleth can change all their courses. Edelgard parries Dimitri's blows, fighting so fast and hard with her lance that it nearly knocks her back. A flash of their older selves floods Byleth's mind, locked in rage and regrets, and unfair co-flirts. Dimitri's hair is longer, Edelgard's more frayed. They can't focus on that. No, that's just what they must work to avoid. It is important to remember everyone's positions. Felix sometimes goes to fight near Dimitri. He'll also sometimes make his way to the Death Knight. Sylvain and Ash aren't far behind. Lysithea usually makes it there. It's far from where Byleth is now. Byleth won't worry. They've trained their students well. Before this, at least. From the corner of her eye, she can see Ignatz and Raphael getting closer. It's easy for archers to hide in the rubble like this. They're still so kind. Not so traumatized and hardened by war. Not as used to killing. The trauma they receive now, they can recover from. There will be no recovering from death. With little fanfare, Byleth raises their sword. They strike, the sword itself whipping in the air, not connecting with either Edelgard or Dimitri. We are not involved with each other. Edelgard is simply being used by those people, the Agarthians. If you are looking to kill, then it should be those who would destroy the Nabateans. You should aim your blades at us. Dimitri and Edelgard look at Byleth with expressions of fear, horror, and anger. Byleth is glad. Their feelings will reach them like this. They still have time. They hold their weapons, loose grips and tired form. So many have attacked each other already. Explosions and barrages of attacks rendering everyone on these very tentative and confused sides. Byleth only needs Dimitri, Edelgard, Rhea, and Claude together. Yuri's smart enough to keep their head down and not die in some pitiful struggle. Claude. How could they forget? Fuck. Where is he? Last time, Dimitri and Edelgard both wounded each other. Archers hiding in the rubble. Byleth curses under their breath. Last time, Dedu had been injured by Hubert's magic. Dimitri looked wounded himself and attacked. Last time, Byleth watched as their students attacked each other, fighting for the ideals of their leader, for the kingdoms and countries, for her lives. Always against them now. Byleth can't take sides. This time, it's Hilda, yelling, attempting to cleave Byleth with her axe. This time, Byleth sees Claude, his eyes focused, his aim true, about to strike at Edelgard, the side of him willing to do what it takes to win during the war. Byleth has chosen their sides before, stood with all of them in one time or another way. Byleth has watched Hilda die. Claude. Sometimes Claude comes back with an Almyran rebellion. This time, it is an expressly timed arrow into Edelgard's side. She falters, and Dimitri wavers. So she strikes him, and she strokes him in return. If only Byleth could get them to work together. Not just Claude and Dimitri for a short while, or Edelgard and Claude or Dimitri and Rhea. All of them. They watch Dimitri's rage and pain, Claude's hidden depths, Edelgard's refusal to die, Rhea's centuries-long fervent need for revival and revenge. There hasn't been an attempt recently that Byleth made that didn't end in Seros screaming at them. How dare Byleth do that to the goddess and all the religious ranting? The less Byleth thinks about all the things Seth has said, or Sothis or Flayn, the better. Sothis isn't coming back. Not now, not ever. As much as she screams for Byleth to let her out, to take it all back, there can be no going back. So much yelling and fighting all the time. Byleth has done enough watching, enough listening and hoping. There's no need or reason to pray. The lives they've lived in her mind anyway. They're almost happy times when their heart aches for the others lost. In the angry times when they've been too weak to save everyone, not conniving enough to sway them to their side. Byleth looks at all of them. They sigh. Their lungs feel so heavy, as if consumed by gravel, blood and live steel. Next time, they watch Edelgard and Dimitri on the ground for a moment, struggling to get up. Claude has been hit by Hubert's magic, so determined and full of conviction. If only they could see how similar their paths are, who the real villains are. If Byleth makes it clear to them now, maybe they'll get their shit together. They'll just have to try again. Byleth curses, digs their sword into the ground. They're shaking. They feel like throwing up. Next time, they can't have those emotions. No faltering. They'll have to remember the good times a bit. What's making all of this worth doing? A future where all their former friends, comrades, students, lovers, co-workers, family, parents, where they are all Byleth's enemies. Where they are happy and she is dead. They can just picture it as they close their eyes. It's all warm and sparkling. Everyone they love is happy. Everyone survived. They're able to rebuild the world, change it and make it better together, standing side by side together. It will be good. They won't have to worry. Not just because they'll be able to. They know that all of these people will have the ability to be happy. They just can't all trust each other, can't divulge their secrets, too busy in their own heads and hearts, being manipulated and falsely led the true evil people. That will change. United by one front, their hatred of Byleth. Byleth made their peace with that attempts ago. They do what they do out of love. They'll have to get it right next time. Byleth has since lost count. They never actually did like the academic side of teaching. Numbers, sitting around reading books. They don't know why they were made to be a professor in the first place, if only due to some sick twist of fate. The divine pulse is so powerful now it breaks apart the earth, neatly breaks Byleth's mind and heart, as if those things aren't broken enough already. Only one thing they say, screaming at the top of their lungs, nearly crying with a sudden emotion. I promise, next time will be different. Next time, they must get it right. Of course, Byleth has said that, but prayers and wishes mean nothing. They must use their power. Sothis, those who slither in the darks, everything. Byleth will change fate, and then they can let it kill them.